Fellas, if you can't save yourself, you end up becoming a liability to everybody else around you, including your family, your friends, including anybody who even gets close to your vicinity. You have to be able to save yourself because nobody else is coming to save you. Nobody else wants to come save you because everyone is for themselves. Everybody wants to be able to elevate themselves in a time where it's almost harder than ever to elevate, to get to the next level, because there's so many psyops, there's so many different things that are attacking people's minds. People are caring about bills. People are caring about their own well-being. Everybody is being self-inflicted. So if you are coming in trying to get a helping hand from somebody else and you do not have the ability to save yourself, you end up becoming somebody that is a liability to everybody else, which means they need to get away from you as far as possible. And I learned this, believe it or not, from a good friend of mine who's Jewish. I know there's a lot of hate with Jewish people right now, and people are always blaming things with Jews. I'm telling you this right now, and this was a really good friend of mine, and he taught me something that was really powerful. I'll never forget. I was at a very low point in time, and if you guys have followed me for a while, you understand my story about how I was a tech founder, and my company went under, and I was making money. I had a pretty good salary for myself and everything like that. And all that went down the drain, right? And I ended up becoming very suicidal. I ended up, becoming very needy. I ended up trying to, figure some things out. And I got so low to the point, and this was the first mistake I've ever made and the last mistake I ever made. I remember I reached out to this friend of mine, and by the way, he has money, right? He's breaded up. He has money. He's exited companies. He's done, etc. He's a couple M's to his name, right? A couple tens of M's to his name. And I remember asking him, I'm like, hey, bro, like I need a loan. I need something to just hold me afloat over this next month as I figure out my next move, because I had job interviews that I was getting. But as you guys know, if you're in the working world, if you're in that 9-to-5 world, if you're in the corporate world, you know that those interviews take time. They take like 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes a month. Sometimes they drag them out. You don't necessarily get the offer right away. On top of that, you end up getting paid 2 weeks, if not a month after you've actually worked, right? So it would have taken way too long. And I had bills, I had my rent, I had so many things coming along that I genuinely needed a life raft. I needed someone to help me. At least I thought I did, right? And I remember talking to him and I was like, hey man, like I really could use a loan. I don't care how much the interest rate is. Like I just need X amount of money to be able to just get my stuff situated for this time being as I'm developing my next move for my next journey. And I remember he paused for a very long time. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. He'll be able to help me. I know he'll be able to help me because I mean, he has it, all right? He cares about me, all that. And he told me this one thing. He was like, Martel, if you can't save yourself, you become a liability to others, including myself. And that was the most powerful thing I've ever heard. No one's ever told me this before. No one's ever told me that whole idea of nobody's coming to save you. The problem that you're in right now, you have to figure out a way to get out on your own. You have to figure it out. You have to problem solve in this world. You have to be competent. You have to start learning quickly. You have to start adapting quickly, because if you don't, no one's coming to actually give you a life raft. Nobody, even if they're in a really good position, they earned it, right? You may be saying, well, he's Jewish. Well, he probably got that from his family. So what? He still multiplied it. He still put in the work, building startups, building tech companies, selling tech companies. That's not an easy thing. It doesn't matter how much money you start with. So he earned it. He rightfully earned it. And even if his family did pass it on to him, it's his. It's not mine, right? He's not entitled to be able to help me. But it really just hit a chord for me. I was like, man, I gotta start really becoming the person that can handle all of the situations that I need to handle, that can actually be resilient. And it started making me think about like who I was at that moment and how vulnerable I was and how weak I was, and the identity of just this needy person, this person who needed to be saved by somebody, was plaguing me. I was getting less phone calls from friends. People weren't hitting me up during that time. It was complete darkness. I was sleeping alone. Nobody would talk to me. Like, man, it was one of the toughest situations in the world. I remember I was in a relationship. My girl didn't understand it. Like she was just like, oh, like, cause I was a provider, right? So like, I'm the one that's provided. So it's even more pressure for me, because not only do I have to handle myself, but I also have to handle another human being and make sure that other human being is solid. right? So I was really stuck and I didn't know what to do, man. Back was against the wall. I was stuck. And when he told me those words, man, it literally lit a fire under me to where I had to transform myself. I had to change my identity. I did a rapid identity shift. I made sure that like, hey, I need to learn a skill set. I need to understand how to really make money for myself. I need to understand how to actually not even just survive in this world, but thrive, because when things go to shit, I don't have anybody to help me. I came from a very impoverished family. I came from the projects. My parents still live in the projects, which irks me every single day, which makes me want to be able to go harder, to be able to get them out. Every single time that I don't necessarily hit my milestones, that's the first thing I think about. So I have a lot of these different responsibilities, especially during that time. And I'll never forget, man, when he told me this, I was like, man, I really appreciate you saying that. And he was like, oh, I thought you'd get mad and never talk to me again. And I was like, no, that's one of the realest things somebody could ever tell me. And I hope this is one of the realest things that I can ever tell you, is that who you are right now, if you feel like you need a life raft, if you feel like somebody's coming to save you, nobody is, but you know who's coming to save you? You. The new identity that you create for yourself is coming to save you. It wants to save you from the old identity that's keeping you behind, that's keeping you from actually becoming the best version of yourself. And it's up to you to make that shift as fast as possible and start to really, really make a difference in your life and really level yourself up, because that's the only way to do it. The only way to do it is to get out of that identity that feels like they need everybody else. You don't need anybody but yourself. You don't need me. You don't need anybody else that you're watching. You don't need your parents. You don't need anybody. You have all of the tools. You have all the resources. You have the internet. You have information. You got to use it. You're not helpless, bro. That's a shitty identity to have, is a helpless identity. Because nobody is attracted to that. That's very, very low frequency. That's very, very low. And that retracts people. That keeps people away from you. And when he told me this, man, I remember I took a pause and I was like, man, thank you so much for saying that. Like, I needed somebody. That might have been something that's changed my entire life. And he was like, I know, because I've had friends who've done the same thing with me. And I remember I gave them a helping hand and they went right back to where they were. And essentially the lesson that I gleaned from that I want you to learn from what I'm telling you right now, is that no matter if somebody helps you, you will always go back to that level, because you've never actually put in the work, put in the actions, change your thought process, change your beliefs, change your emotions to be able to become the person who does not need that help anymore. So every time you get a helping hand, you will always go back to that baseline. If he would have given me a helping hand, I promise you I would have been at negative $500, negative $1,000 if I would have taken that and if I would have ran with that, because I would have stayed comfortable. It wouldn't have forced me to change my identity. It wouldn't have forced me to level up and make a quantum leap in my life within 2 weeks. If y'all don't know the story, within 2 weeks, I remember I had a credit card. I had applied for a credit card. And my credit was already fucked up, because if you're an entrepreneur and you go through a lot of these issues and your companies get shut down and you had loans and you had all these things, your business, because you took out those personal loans, your credit will be fucked up. So I was fortunate enough to be able to have a little bit more money on my credit card to be able to pay this coach to be able to help me build my online fitness business, coaching business. And I'll never forget, man, I put in the work. I assumed the identity of a successful fitness business or fitness coach. And I started implementing. I started taking all the attributes of that coach. I started method acting, which I talk a lot about. You guys, if you guys don't know, my Telegram below, you will be able to get more information on that. I'm dropping a lot of gems in there. If you join right now, your mind might be blown from the last transmission I made. But I started doing all these things, and I just look up and I'm up 10 bands. I'm up 10 bands within 3 months. The first 2 weeks I was up, I made my investment of $6,000 back. First 2 weeks. Was able to pay my rent. Was able to pay all of the things that I needed to pay. I had eviction notices on my door. I was really stressed, man. Like, this shit was really getting to me. I didn't grow up rich. Y'all know my story if you've watched my other videos. I didn't grow up rich. I didn't grow up with anything. I grew up with negative thought patterns. I'm from the fucking hood, bro. Like, I grew up with nothing. I grew up with a perception of money that really skewed my entire performance. I grew up in the negatives. I grew up without the foundation that some of you guys might even have, fortunately, and I'm happy for you. That means you can do better than me. And if you did grow up and where I grew up or even worse, I should be a testament that you can do better if you just shift your identity. Kill that old version of yourself and take on a new version and be that person and never ask for anything. If somebody gives you a helping hand, great. I've had that happen before. Somebody willingly gave me a helping hand. I respect him to this day. That's the homie, man. Like, he gave me a helping hand, but I didn't ask for it. You know what I mean? Just wanted to help out. And sometimes you will find those angels that come in and they want to help you in humans, and it'll help you. But for the most part, you can't rely on that shit. And a lot of y'all might be relying on a helping hand, might be relying on this job to potentially save your life. The job is the same. You cannot trust a job. Job is just over broke. I know a lot of people who make 6 figures and they're still living paycheck to paycheck because they didn't shift their identity to becoming the person who could handle that much money. It all comes down to your identity, who you are. And you cannot be a person who is labeled a liability. That is a shitty identity to have, bro. And it holds you back forever. And I'm telling you this as somebody who genuinely cares about you, because I see myself in you. All of you that comment, all of you that tell me your stories through DMs, that send me emails talking about how my videos change your life. I see myself in you because I was the same exact way. I might have been in a worse position than you are. And I understood that I only had myself to be able to make reality happen. Nobody was coming to save me. Nobody that I was watching on the internet flexing, doing all this shit, they weren't coming to save me. They were here to advertise their own services, which again, that's what we all do. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. I sell on the internet. I sell coaching. I sell courses. I sell on the internet because I finally understood what it took to do it. I changed my identity from somebody who thought, oh no, this is wrong, to like, no, how do I capitalize on this? How do I learn this shit? How do I implement this? How do I provide value to other people? How do I 10x people's lives? Okay, first it starts with fitness. Now we're doing identity shifting. That's what we're doing now. But you got to understand this, man. Like, you got to get to a point where you just realize, I am my only hope. God's not coming to save you, bro. I'm telling you this as someone who believes in God. Not even believes, knows God. Because I went into the deepest, darkest depths of my soul to be able to even talk to God, to be able to even hear God's, because that's the one time you can hear him the best. You won't be able to hear him as well when you're doing really well. But when you're in those dark times, I'll tell y'all, when I was about to commit suicide, when I was literally about to drive myself off of a fucking cliff, during that time, there was a voice that said, Martell, stop. You're not done. You haven't done everything that you came here to do. Stop. That's what it took, bro. That was when I heard, that's when I knew God was real. That was when I knew. I don't have to believe anything. I know. And what I'm telling you is, from what I know about God, He, whatever you want to call it, gave you the tools to be able to change your life. He gave you everything that you need. He gave you this mega computer of a mind to break through any obstacle and problem solve like the best of them. You just haven't understood that your identity is fucked up. You haven't understood that yet. You haven't understood that you've been programmed to be helpless. You've been programmed to feel like you can't do it. You've been programmed to feel like everything is against you and you need somebody to give you a helping hand. So what do? You lean on religion. You say, well, God's going to come save me. God, well, Jesus is coming back. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know. And you don't know. Yeah, the Bible says that, but I don't know. And you don't know when. You don't know when. So if you sit, because I'm telling you this from personal experience. I come from a very Christian household, right? My dad was a pastor, a Pentecostal pastor. My mom was super, super religious, super dedicated, and I respect both of them. But every single time they would give me that shit where it was like, oh, the rapture's coming, Jesus is coming, we got to get ready to go. And a year would go by and we wouldn't go. Another year would go by, we wouldn't go. Don't worry about the bills because Jesus is coming this year. And nothing would happen, G. Nothing would happen. And that would kill me, bro, because I'm just like, man, they're looking for an external source to save them when everything that they had was inside. And every time I tried to tell them that, every time I tried to do that, I got rejected and I got told I was going to hell, that I was a demon child, that I was the black sheep, that I didn't know what I was talking about. I get it, man. But I go on a tangent just to tell y'all, like, save yourself, man. So that way you don't become a liability to other people and you actually become an asset to people. Because people will only provide to people who are assets. And the only way you become an asset is to transform your identity into an asset, into somebody who's valuable, that can actually do things at a high level, that has the discipline. And what is discipline? It just essentially means that you are aligned with your identity, who you want to be. You're aligned in the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, and the actions that new identity needs to have to be able to get what it is that you want. That's really it. But I didn't know that till my Jewish friend told me, man. So shout out to him. But I hope this rang true to y'all, man. I hope this was something that you could learn and you can glean from. You can take some information and really just help yourself out, because I'm telling you right now, if you can't do it, nobody's going to be able to do it for you. God's not going to come and save you, man. Like, he gave you already all the tools. He's not going to intervene with what he's already created and given to you. Why would he do that? That would be a waste of creation. As powerful as you are, bro, as powerful as that mind that you have that's been corrupted, all the negative thoughts that you've allowed inside of you that have blossomed into weeds, all of that shit that has come up, you can reverse that. You can reverse that and live a really good life. I had to do that to get to the point where I'm at now, where I'm financially free, location freedom, where I live in Europe, everything's paid for, everything's good. I got a great woman with me. I can provide, she can chill, she doesn't need to worry about shit. All of that came from here. And all of that came from my identity. I had to change. And I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going through another identity evolution to hit the new goals that I have. Because I've been stagnant for too long. I've been stagnant for way too long, right? So I hope this was valuable for y'all and that you understand what I'm trying to put down and tell you, because I wish somebody told me this stuff a lot earlier than my Jewish friend did, because I wouldn't have even been in that situation. But I'm glad that I can tell you guys this now, so I can get you guys out of your situation if you're in one. Whatever it is, you may even have money right now, but you want to get to the next level. I'm telling you, it all stems from your identity. That is the one thing that can change your life in the matter of seconds. And I'm not even hyping this shit up. Fuck self-improvement. Fuck all these other courses teaching you information. You need to focus on your identity, my friend. My dog. Focus on that. That's the one thing that will give you exponential results if you put your mind to it. So I hope you take this in. Rewatch this shit if you need to. Hope this inspired you. I hope this put you to action. Again, I'm working on something big when it comes to identity shifting. I want to take over the space, want to take over the self-improvement space and change it and actually create lasting change. Not the bullshit cold showers and meditation this and all this. That's cool. Those are accessories. But the real core change is identity shifting. And that's really what I'm pushing towards right now, because that's what has changed me and has allowed for me to excel in every area of my life. So I appreciate you, and I'm going to catch you on the next video.